Okay, let's see. Career profile. We're going to import. Okay, so this one is another submission from the gentleman who gave me the last code. I'm going to try that with a 0 first. XKD. Oh, come on. Okay, let's try this again. DZ0 and then XKD. It's awkward from the position I am typing. Yep, there we go. Okay, so this is submitted by the same gentleman who gave me the soldier clip from previous. He's actually currently in chat as we speak as well. Is it paused? No, it's not paused. There we go. There you are. Perfect. So let's get the information from this. This is the last game you played, in which case there was just enough time where it potentially might have been longer. This time I played with Tracer in Midtown, and I gotta say it was a very stressful game. It's usually how it is. Close matches usually tend to be very stressful, so completely understandable. Where's my glasses? There you are. Okay. Might notice some things might be off, like slingshotting or my positioning in some cases. We work on the mechanical thing of stuff, so when it comes to your aim, I've already given you the advice necessary. Honestly, you just have to keep toying with them to see if there's improvements. If something doesn't work, just revert. I can't really help out with settings much more than just offering the best advice I can give. But as far as your gameplay, that one's more helpful in a VOD. If we compare it with the Soldier in Circle Royale, I think I did okay-ish. However, I mucked it up in some ways. Please tell me. I might not look it, but your words about resource management are in my head all day long. That's good. Make that the habit, and you literally can't be wrong. Again, the point is not that you're flooding your brain. Like, you don't have to think, resource management. Like, I even mucked that up myself. Look at that. No, you don't have to be thinking about it 24/7, but resource management's important when you're playing resource management heavy characters. Like Tracer, obviously, is a heavy one because her abilities are very life-saving. Stuff like Widow's Grapple, Moira's Fade, Reaper's Wraith, and even his teleport for that matter. Bastion's got some resource management to go along with him. There's a bunch of characters that do it, so let's be 100% honest. You don't need to be flooding your brain, resource management. Like, you let that flow, but you don't overload your mind with just thinking that. So, even if I use them the wrong way, that's how it works. You just train yourself. I'm the Tracer on the red team with the runner skin. I got 17 kills, 4 deaths. Honestly, that's good. But obviously it was a lost match if I'm understanding this correctly, so that's why you probably sent it. Let me see. 5,000 damage. Between 17? 17 kills. 54, 38 divided by 17. 319. Yeah, that's roughly a little over for the average 200 HP hero. Okay. So settings in the game, don't really need to look at that right now. You're messing with it as you mess with it. Okay, so let's get on to watching. Let me get my headphones on while I do that too. Where did I put them? I put them in like 3 different places. All right. So, oh wait, options. View, put that there, okay. Alrighty then. So we're going to watch this from your angle and... What was that about B? Oh, good, okay. Let me also read your comment while I'm at it. Be honest, would you be something... To be honest, I think that my positioning was a bit worse than when I was on playing with... Yeah, no, I can actually answer why you probably think that, because Tracer plays different. There are times where you can intermingle the playstyle of certain heroes that very closely match, and Tracer and Soldier, they are different fundamentally, but they can be using each other's playstyles every once in a while. A good example of this would be with... Sabiolby. if you look up Sabiobi POV from Overwatch League, you'll see that a good majority of the time he was shooting from a distance and keeping positioning where he was because the engagement timing wasn't ready. And then there's a couple of coaches that will even advise that when you're playing Soldier, play like a Tracer, where you take advantageous angles. You go somewhat close, but at the same time safe. You play a little overly aggressive. You don't play so far back. You don't just take high ground all the time. Flanking is also part of his play style, so on and so forth. Everything for its own. So you'll notice the positionary differences, and I've noticed it too as a Soldier main playing Tracer, that my positioning with Tracer was just much worse than my positioning with Soldier. So you're going to notice that, and that's good that you noticed it too. So I'm going to put this down. Excuse me. All right, here we go. Right off the bat. Oh. Wait, what is going on here? So they come out the door. Moira goes out. What was your Reaper doing, bro? I'm not even blaming you for that, but like... The Moira in the window is hilarious. Eek. Yeah, Tracer being a bouncy bitch. I know what you're talking about. I see it. So I think the real trouble that you're having is that they're highly mobile heroes. You can't control them yet, and that unfortunately is something that cannot be fixed with any amount of like coaching. It's just something that you have to practice mechanical. And map memorization, constant playing, the more you play, the more you'll be able to get the flow. It's basically like you're very obtuse, for lack of a better word. I can't think of the word right now, I'm very shot. But you're very awkward with your hero, and you're very awkward and like you're kind of tripping over yourself, you're putting yourself into corners, not realizing it, getting out a little bit late, not really being able to maneuver into the places you want to. That'll happen. Again, and you just have to play. But like, pay attention. I'm noticing you're also not tracking the Genji, and I'm not blaming you for that. Let me just wait in, because we have to go back anyway. I'm gonna try to be a little bit more broad and control my rewinds with E. Close. Good kill. Capture the point. Yep. Okay, so I'm gonna count that as a quick opportunity to rewind. Okay, so number one. The first thing I am going to point out. So here you are in the corner. This is obviously the beginning engagement. So, as Tracer, the biggest advantage to her kit is her mobility, her ability to get into spots quicker than other heroes, alongside Soldier as well. But your team is not playing 100% properly either. Again, your Reaper wasted a key resource to literally go from one entry point to another where he could have just already been. Why he did that, I don't know. But teleport is a very key resource for him, but we're not VOD reviewing him, we're VOD reviewing you. So, what you do, and this isn't necessarily bad, there are times where you have to push with your team, there's not really too much you can do on that. But in this instance, your Moira is probably doing the thing that you should be doing. And if you were here with me avidly talking, I would ask you, what do you think you could have done better here? What do you think you should be doing? And what you should be doing is looking for an advantageous angle, taking those things. So Moira's taking top. She can afford to do it. She did waste her fade, so I don't know why she did that. Your diva is technically doing her job, and this is Kiriko, right? Yeah, I couldn't tell from the silhouette. Reaper is doing a decent job by somewhat keeping up as well, but you could go with diva. You could. But right now you're taking a frontline fight. To improve your positioning is to recognize where you can get the most advantageous angle. Do not take fair fights. You should be looking for advantages to where you make it disadvantageous for them and completely advantageous for you. So what you should have done, or what you should have done, is debatable. I didn't mean to say should. What you could do, what can you do? While Moira's up there, and Diva's taking the front, and she's got support from Reaper and Kiriko, who will eventually just teleport to them, is what I assume she's going to do. Use your Tracer. Take the back line right here. It brings you to this area. And now, look at where you are. Even if they are in the midst of rotating and they somehow make it over here, you're still now providing two angles, one right here and one right here, to where they need to make a choice. Do they contest you from shredding their backline supports because their ball is kind of like back and forth? Or do they pay attention to the pressing enemy team? Do they pay attention to the diva who's currently being pocketed by a Kiriko and given a little bit more pressure with Reaper? But you're now pursuing with your team, which again is fine. There are times when you recognize that. You go into this little side room. Now, this is kind of like iffy because all it takes for them is to rotate to this entry point right here, and your only escape route is to go back to your team. So they're already in a more advantageous position of cutting off your line, and look at where you are. You're between a Genji and a Ball, and both of which you're having trouble hitting with the Genji. And Ball is at near full, correct? Yeah, near full. So, not a very decent position to be caught in, but it obviously works itself out, so I won't. Yeah, now you're back with your team, so thankfully they didn't make that rotation either. Take the above. I'm trying to find an angle, I'm sorry. Come on, you can do it. There we go. Almost did it again. Yeah, I noticed that too. You just got caught on the car again. It's okay. Oh, what is that Reaper doing? Oh, that hurt my soul. If you ever play Reaper, don't do that. Your Wraith is like one of your most important life-saving abilities. It's one of the sure ways that you can put yourself into a better position if you're out of position. This is painful. Okay, where are you? I'm gonna go back a little bit. Okay, so you're kind of focused on the Genji. You're with your diva, you're with your team. That's not bad. Like, if you're gonna be out of position, at least be with your team. Kind of not a bad trade-off, but, you know, give and take. Yeah, shooting from the distance wasn't the issue, but you're creating pressure of some kind by doing that. I get it. So... something I'm noticing with your aim, we're just going to quickly address this. So, going back on that, we're gonna slow that down. So when Genji's moving at a horizontal, angle, you manage to keep up with him. But then he starts bouncing up, and look at where your aim is still. You're still level. Now, this will come with time. What did you say your aim ease in was at? Did you say it was at like 20-something? Where are you at? Aim ease in 25%? Yeah, no, that's where I have it too. What was your sensitivity at? 41, 41? I'm going to recommend something kind of weird. But if I've ever shared my settings on stream, you'll notice that I have my horizontal sensitivity higher than my vertical, And the reason being is because the vertical positioning, there's not many heroes that have that, but when they do, their movement speed is significantly less than the fastest horizontal speed. So it creates a slight differential, and you should probably use that. But you're also having trouble with that, so you might benefit from keeping it even for now. But you do need to practice your aim mechanics as far as mobile heroes. I'll get the code after this. But it's that hero aim trainer that I think I shared previously, the one where everybody's just bouncing around. That'll help you with your vertical and horizontal movements. Just use that a little bit to kind of get used to how the stick functions. Obviously, it doesn't translate into real gameplay because you're not getting pressure, but it is a way to help you practice your stick movement on joystick. Okay, and then you obviously get the secured kill on there. Did you really need to blink there? Yeah, you did. You did. It's literally a rinse and repeat from last time. Yeah, he put himself in a bad position, so good kill there. We already know how this works. So, you capture the point. Next team fight ensues. I'll give this a watch. Ooh. I see what you did, and I like that a lot. Now, normally, you wouldn't have been wronged for going... Like, I see that you teleported back, and I thought that was a mistake, that you were trying to go for the health pack. And then you went over here. And now you're with your team again. I like that. I like that, because even I didn't think of it. You just taught me something new, but I like it. I like it a lot. You did a very good job. You thought ahead of the steps. Perfect. And now you're with your team. I'll let this continue. So I should have done this in the beginning, but I did want to point out as well, since I just thought of it. So look at your enemy team. You have roughly 3 people that can heavily counter you. The ones that you need to look out for, pretty obvious. I don't think I need to make this a secret and be like, hey, who do you think's countering you? It's the obvious ones. Kiriko, Genji, and Ashe. Those have burst potential to take you out very quickly. So you have to be very careful for them, and you're doing a very good job with Genji. Just be on the lookout when you're taking the team fight like you just did right here with the Ashe. Ashe just died, but yeah, taking what you did, the rewind's a good rewind there. Just be very careful, because sometimes it just takes one lucky shot from Ashe in order to just eliminate you. Granted, though, this is the silver lobby, if I recall you mentioning, so... Burping like you wouldn't believe. Yeah, right now, Ball's being an ult battery. Take advantage, eliminate him, good job. He was just basically acting as an ult battery for you, like, holy crap. There's free ult charge, free value. And now their team is scattered. Oof. Good. There's not really much you can do against an ulting Moira. Nobody's aiming properly, but like... Wow, what a diva bomb. Yeah, I'm gonna say that this is a one team fight. Let's go back. Okay, so we already know from this point, let's go from a third-person angle and overview the entire fight. Were you weak at that point? Where's... Yeah, you were weak. Very good rewind. Because Ball was probably going to eliminate you. Just making sure I don't miss anything. Yeah. Take the win. Use the ball as your... He tried getting away with the gate! Oh my goodness, that's why. That's why he ended up not getting away. I didn't notice that. So funny enough, yeah, so you got free ult charge from it, you got your ultimate from it, and your team built their ultimate, your Moira's about to have her ultimate. Let's see. Okay. So now they have a good portion of their team here. So it's at this point where you're at. You're with your team. Do you have your rewind? Yes, you do. So you're able to save yourself. Good God forbid. So, so what you should do at this point? Again, you need to take advantageous angles. You're playing with your team, and that's not bad, but you're not benefiting your team to a greater degree than you think. Because look at where Moira is. First off, Moira is facing off against 3 of your team right here, and your diva is about to get mech again. So she's going to be facing off against a full-fledged diva bot in like 2 seconds. Ashe is your primary concern because she's constantly able to keep you at bay with her burst kill. Genji's just being Genji, and Kiriko's being a heal bot over here, but they don't have their tank. What I would do, take the advantageous angle, come up here, come around, and even if you didn't go down here's like a health pack, but it kind of narrows you, I would still stay up here and play around the back area like right here, come from this area, or even come from up here. You can go from any real point, but the point is, like, as the point is moving, heck, you could even take this little ground up here while the point is still there. Just think about the different options of how you could benefit your team. There is no real right answer, so bear that in mind. You use your rewind, I think. Do you use your rewind? Did you use your rewind? Or did you just teleport out of the way? Oh, you went back for the health pack, that's right. Okay, so then you try to come up here, and that wouldn't have been bad either. But Moira has ulted, so it wouldn't have benefited you too much. And again, you can't really do too much against the ulting Moira. Like, you're really just at a disadvantage. She's probably going to beam you down before you beam her. Your entire team is holding on to too many ults. They can stand to use one, but your diva ends up doing that. Again, I'm not trying to coach them, but we all see the reason why this is an issue, right? She placed her diva bomb in a position where all they had to do was literally take a step over, and they're safe. She should have launched it. Or she should have come closer to the point where they can't really get out. She should have just been, like, standing maybe, like, right here. And then they would have had to be forced to use the taxi and all gather up on each other. And now everybody's using their ult. Yeah, take the angle, take the angle. Good stuff. Now, I think I know what you're thinking at this point. So this isn't a bad thing to be doing, taking this corner right here, but you already won the team fight, so there's no point to it. What I would be doing is that because you won the team fight and Ball is going back to his team, maybe use this angle to come over to here and then kind of expect this area because you're next to a health pack and a bunch of cover. Use this to your advantage and be in the position for the next team fight. I don't know what you do, though. Do you go back? No, you're staying in the corner. So you don't have range, but Ashe does. So does Kiriko. So does Genji. Moira can technically send the ball your way, although I don't know why she'd waste it on you when she could aim for your team. Ball went back for healing, so I guess where did he go? He's back in spawn. Okay. So you're kind of in a bad position. Again, this would be normally good if the team fight actually was taking place here, and it's about to. But you can better your advantage by being here, because you have cover, you can play behind these things, you have a health pack, and you can create a pincer for anybody that decides to put themselves here, because now they're forced to either face the team with the oncoming point, or focus you the complete opposite direction, leaving themselves open. Just a thought, but being here is not, again, a problem. It's just a bad timing to be in that corner. Yeah, now you're just pressing with your team. Yeah, they're now using their ults. Oh! Oh, big pulse bomb! Now, let's just be clear about something. You are actually in a very good spot. So you did something good. So team fight, you're with your team. And then you teleported behind them. And actually in time, too, because now you're out of Kiriko's ult range, and you're out of the minefield, so you kind of did yourself a favor by getting out. Man, she really risked it for the biscuit to get that Kiriko. Okay, but now again, look at where you're at, and look at the pressure that they're going to have to deal with. And then you get that little magical pulse bomb. Which is actually kind of funny because technically you got Bob. You got Bob. I figured he was about to almost get you if he didn't get you already. Yeah, but that was kind of like a scrubbed team fight just due to the fact, oh, I wouldn't have peeked. I wouldn't have peeked. It's a minor mistake. It's not going to cost you too much, but I wouldn't have given Bob a moment of watching. There's nothing that you can do as a lone tracer against Bob. Let's be 100% honest, especially since Bob is all the way up there. Just wait for him to go and you got your advantage back. But you also have to wait for your team anyway. Get out. I would get out right now. Okay, just to cover why this is an issue. This is your viewpoint. This is what you're aiming at. You don't have distance. Kiriko does. That was your viewpoint. This is her viewpoint. All she has to do is shoot in the corridor and she's got you. So I wouldn't have taken this fight anyway. The use of blinks were good. I wouldn't have used that other one. Okay. Hey, what's up, Skyscraper? Wait, Skyscraper? Casper, excuse me. I might have dyslexia. Aw. Thank you, bro. I appreciate the kind words. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and start streaming, bro. It's a fun and time if you just know what you want to play and the community you're trying to reach out to. Let me quickly do this before I forget. So, Tracer! Once again, what do you think you could have done better? If you're still here. I don't know if you're still here. I think I might be alone now. It keeps fluctuating my concurrent viewers, so I have no idea who is watching when. Nor do I really care about who's watching and when. I'm just making content for everybody to watch for later on anyway. But what can you do as Tracer? Because the person that I'm reviewing should be here in chat anyway. What could you have done better? Look at where you're at. Look at where your team's at. Look at where the enemy team's at. They're pushing the point. Everyone's alive and making their way to the point. Reaper's about to be there. They're about to make the push. What could you do better? Well, for starters, they're focusing your team. They're not even focusing you. And you're not providing any pressure. Yes, behind the bus stop. That's where you're at right now, and the bus stop over here. So you wouldn't just necessarily be behind the bus stop. Utilize the cover of this entire area right here, where the bus stop is, where the police truck is, even that little gazebo-like area, the staircase. Why did I say gazebo? Anyway, so utilize that because, once again, if you had made that crucial movement, like, let's just go back to this thing real quick. So, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now you join back in with your team. So a full-fledged 7 seconds from the time that you made yourself available there, you spent 7 seconds basically shooting at air because all the team was moving around. You're obviously struggling with your aim, and you know that. And they're not even focusing you. So you're not providing any more pressure than the usual. And you're not giving... What's the word I'm looking for here? You're not doing as much as you can. So behind the bus stop was definitely a better choice option. And again, you spent 7 seconds shooting basically from behind the bus, not providing much value, when you could provide infinitely more value by making the rotation, and you had 7 seconds to do it. So now you join back up with your team because Kiriko ults, and that's good. You probably could have saved yourself the rewind as well if you made that move. Now look who was in that position, but she obviously wasn't ready for that based upon the push. One other thing I will quickly point out. So let's just go over here. Look who's in front of you aiming down sights in your direction. That was very weird of her to do. But she was aiming your direction. She could have potentially hit you and you didn't know whether or not she was going to. She could have flicked. We don't know. I don't know how she's doing with her accuracy. I quite frankly don't care. But you only managed to get the kill because she pushed you back and you went back. Chasing ball, he's offering free value. I wouldn't even stick with the point. I would be chasing him. Harass him to the point where he can't exist in the back line for free. And charge your ultimate. You're 51%. You could probably get up to 80, if not 100% of your ult if you had just kept harassing him instead of going with your team. Did they swatch up? They swapped off their Kiriko to Mercy. Oh, an Echo. So now you have another problem. Echo is not necessarily too far of a difference from Ashe as far as the danger to you, but they did give up burst damage potential for eliminating you, but I guess that they just couldn't hit you. So, a new threat to deal with. It depends on if there's any other swaps made, but it looks like your team is keeping their same team anyway. Yeah. Yeah, he's just existing in your... I would chase him. I would chase him. There you go. I wouldn't ignore him. I'm on fire. What else is new? Good health pack. Good, good. Taking high ground, taking an advantageous angle. Good target priority, but if you're struggling with Genji, getting Mercy is going to be just that much harder. Yeah, I would have picked Moira instead. I think I would have used my blinks instead of my rewind, because again, the health pack is like right there. But I get it. So I can't really fault you for the second. Ah, you're stuck on a wall. Ah, unlucky. Yeah, nothing to really cover from that. You were pretty much covered already. You were all in the back line watching the ball, and then you went over here and you did take the angle. So I'm very happy that you took the high advantageous angle trying to pincer, but now the point is too far, so it's just going to be the team fight. Good target prioritization. You recognize the need to go for the Mercy. Even if you couldn't secure the kill, you did a good job of pressuring, and then you moved on to the next one, which was Moira. Oh my god, where is Moira looking at? so now you have Pulse Bomb. I want to pay attention to this.
There's a lot of them. Be careful.
I'm going to mention the biggest problem that I noticed on this. So this is also very important. I know we're talking about resource management and everything, but pay attention to you going back from spawn to your team and look at your blinks. So 1, 2, 3, no problems here. You get a blink back, use it. Another blink, use it. Another blink, use it. Now, quick question. What value are you bringing your team? You have your rewind, you have your pulse bomb. You're full with health, you have full ammo. All your resources are there, save for one, so you'd think, oh, this is going to be good. One major problem. You have no blinks, because you used it to go all the way from spawn to here. So now you have no engagement / disengagement, and all because you used your blinks the way that you did. You were in no rush. Your team is about to win that team fight. So they were like 1.19 meters away. You could have saved your blinks and been like, oh, they're making press. Remember, this is about the objective in this case. They're about to get the objective. You have no way of knowing whether or not they're going to capture it by the time you make back, or if you're going to make it just in time, or if you're not going to make it on time. You don't know. You're just trying to make it back while still maintaining some of your resources. So going back a step, like I was saying, the first 3 blinks from the main entrance, totally fine, because by the time you go a little further, you're not in an engagement, you're not in a team fight, so you have your blinks. Use them to close the gap of distance. It's fine. You see pro players do that all the time. Wait for your blink to recharge, and then you immediately start using them. And since you used them on every single cooldown, you now have 0, and you're half the recorded time before you reach another blink, so before you can make an engagement. Now you're pressured, the team comes back, they won the team fight. I'm not saying you could have swung it, but the resource stopped you from being more aggressive, and potentially could have swung the team fight. Yeah, now you're being pressured, you're in a corner, thankfully your diva's there. Let me just watch this from the moment until the next team fight, quote unquote. Oh, you already down one. Are you splintered? I think you're splintered. Yeah, no, your team is splintered. Your diva shouldn't have been this far. You probably still could have kept retreating, and I would have actually kept doing that, but yeah, your team is splintered very heavily. I think you're going to die here, aren't you? Yeah, your diva's dead. Your Genji's trying to get you. So I'm waiting for you to die the 3 more times that you are. Ow. Poor Kiriko. She's got self-heal though, so she can care for herself if that need be. Aha! It's a whiff! Aha! Yeah, so let me see what your blink usage was like. I would have blinked one more time. I would have blinked one more time and you would have gotten a stick. You didn't even need to move any of your sticks. Just blink, hit it, rewind. Or blink out, either one. I mean, it did create a certain... Oh, they went Orisa. Of course they did. That's the game-winning pick on lower ranks. Yo, what is with your diva with badly placed diva bombs? What is with your diva and badly placed diva bombs? Like, right there? Who is she getting? Oh my god. I mean, maybe she stopped the team fight for like a few seconds. I mean... Yeah, let me just continue watching. watch that echo for like 2 seconds. Yep, already doing what your diva won't. That's immediately... Hi. Okay. Yeah, you're basically just trading back and forth while the point is slowly moving backward. Your team is splintering. You traded off. Who was your other DPS at the time? It was Reaper switching to Soldier. I mean, I guess that would help with the Echo, but you're in an enclosed space. Echo can only operate so much within that space that she's operating in. But your entire team is split. And then you just lost another healer. You're about to go. You used your rewind. You're between a tank and Genji. Yeah, I figured. Who's moving the point? Oh, Diva. Yeah, your entire team has been... Oh, that would be why. Okay. I didn't even notice that. Okay. Yeah, no, so this is... this is tough. Yeah, the thing that you're really running into a problem here is that your team is splintered and not salvaging the team fight. You probably could have won if you had just taken a minute to gather up in a group. And then, even in the times where you didn't gather in a group, you weren't trying to look for advantageous angles. Again, I understand it. You're new. So this is not something like, oh, you should be doing this. This is for you to examine yourself and realize, hey, this is the perspective that I'm missing. Why am I suffering on Tracer? You're suffering on Tracer because you're not utilizing her kit the way that she needs to be. So while this entire team fight is going on over here and you're being chased avidly, honestly, I just would have retreated with the team because everybody's just out of position anyway. And this is an entire team reset. But while everything was going on before, and the team was focused on your team over here, like while the team fight was here, because the team fight was here, I would have taken that time to go even right here. Just right over here, and pincer them. Because while the point was still right over here, they had lack of cover, and then you would have had free reign. Yes, you have a lack of cover yourself, but you have your retreat to go back over here, heck, on the train up there if you were able to manage that. So it's just trying to look for those advantageous angles, trying to look for those movements, look for those things. It comes with time and play, so I'm not, again, trying to make you feel bad or anything, but that this is the point of utilizing a character's kit to their maximum potential, is looking for these openings. And why is your team still splintered? I have no idea. Maybe I'm thinking back on the previous one where she died, but your Moira's trying to frontline and it's not working. You should not be pressing. You are down a healer, and your only healer right now is Kiriko, and Kiriko could only heal you so much. So what I would do, since your team is pushing in here, don't push with the team. Remain out here. You would have caught the Genji. You would have put pressure. Or go beyond your team, take the high ground over here, and then put the pressure over here so that they're forced to either look to the area where you have cover, or they're forced to look at your team. Is she using her ult again? Oh my god, she did it right! She did it right! She failed, but she did it right! Oh, your diva's an enigma to me. Yo, Echo again. Echo's just getting free value at this point. She's not being pressured the way she should be. Oh! Good pulse bomb, yep. I'm sorry, what? Okay, but why though? Like, is it because there was a gap? You shouldn't have died. You shouldn't have died. So that was kind of stupid.
30 seconds. Let the kitsune guide you. Go, the
Frontlining again. Okay, good.
10 seconds.
Okay, so if you remember, I don't know if you watched my previous self-VOD review when I was playing on Samoa. I had to think about it. On the very final point of Samoa, the lava area, I was playing Soldier 76, I took an off angle, and the team had traded off to go a Pocket Pharah Mercy combo. And so I was still shooting at the Pharah. Why was I shooting at the Pharah? Because the Pharah was the avid threat. That even if I wasn't gunning her down as quickly as I wanted to, or even if I wasn't hitting her, I was still pressuring her because she was flying out in the open. She has no cover. So every hit counts for something, even with the pocket. It pressures her to play sloppy. Why is that good? It was good because even if I wasn't providing value through eliminations, I was providing pressure and causing her to play in a way that she was not comfortable with, playing in a way that she couldn't do. And she herself, although she might get some value, was not getting the fullest value that she could do. I was basically knocking her out of her element. And again, I couldn't eliminate her because she had a pocket. I could have shot the Mercy too, and I did whenever there was like a possibility, but I had to make sure that Pharah wasn't focusing on me, because if I focus on the Mercy, then Pharah's got free reign. She's no longer pressured. Your situation right here, let's quickly slow this down. So you have your team, you join with your team. Why you joined with your team, I don't know, but you shouldn't be frontlining in this instance. You need to be taking any advantageous fight that you got, and playing with your team is not providing too much value. Good on the health pack, you shouldn't have needed to get it. So now you're focusing Echo. Good target pick.
sterben nicht.
I wouldn't have used the blink.
10 seconds.
The moment Echo gets pocketed is the time that you should have swapped to a different target, including, but not limited to, the Mercy. Or even the Genji. Genji's not even looking at you. I would have swapped to one of them. Now, you just lost your Kiriko, which means it's another scrubbed team fight. And you are about to lose your Diva. Yeah. Everyone's on... Yeah. This is a scrub team fight. You are the only thing that's going to keep this thing in overtime. I didn't mean to do that. Good rewind. No. Stay on point. Stay on point.
Ready, everyone.
How you are doing this, I have no idea. It's not a bad thing. It's just, I just don't know how you're doing it. Soldier swapped off to Echo. Very good. Counter-echoing. Your Kiriko swapped off to Brig. Also very smart. Ah, she got the res on Moira. Ah, I see exactly what happened. So let me pay attention to the scoreboard for like a second. I don't know how you're surviving as long as you are. So, Brig got eliminated again. You eliminated the Orisa. Diva's about to get demac'd. Yeah, there we go. Diva's gone. Now, the Echo got the Diva. The Diva managed to get the Moira. The Moira gets rezzed. I'm paying attention strictly to that. Your Echo takes out Genji. Good swap. Good value. Ah, I see exactly what happened there. Now, their Moira kills you. What's going on, Sage? Moira eliminates their Echo, and then Echo eliminates their Mercy. So it looks like you won another team fight for a short period of time.
Duplicating or reset.
I got my second win. Move the payload.
All systems on optimal levels.
Hotspot ready. Let's do
Good, good. Good.
easy. Hiya.
I liked it. So, overall critique. That wasn't terrible. As Tracer, she's a little bit more mechanically demanding, so I actually applaud you for even selecting her in the first place. But I do want to emphasize the importance of seeking out better angles, better positioning, focus more on not necessarily splitting from your team, but how did they phrase that? It's kind of like you're grouped, but you're not split. It's okay to play apart, but you're still together. So as long as you're within like a few blinks of your team, that's probably a good distance. If you're more than like your entire full set of blinks to get back to your team, you're probably too far, but you have self-sustain. So it's okay to play split. It's hard to kind of explain, but you need to be seeking those advantageous opportunities of splitting from your team a slight bit, like pincering the enemy team, being behind them, and gathering their focus. Focus is a resource as well for resource management. So if you're having them focus on you when your team can take the advantage, even better. But don't just play frontline Tracer. In fact, you were doing frontline Soldier as well, and I do that occasionally as well, but frontline Tracer, it can work in certain situations. Yeah, off angle, I'll go back a second. So, off angle, if I'm understanding what you mean by the question, is basically like the enemy team needs to focus the points. They're going to come through their choke here. As maybe... What's a good example? In fact, you know what? Let's actually go back a little further. Let's say that the point was over by that staircase. The enemy team would have to focus here and focus upwards on the staircase. Your off angle would literally be anywhere back here with the train at that little platform up here. Even up here if you're able to get up here with whatever hero you're playing. Over here especially, because now they have to actually look back toward their spawn. That's off angle play. Off angle, as long as it diverts their attention from the stairwell where the point is. And then we go back. Oh my god, I got a headache. Removed my glasses and now I'm feeling it. So anyway, yeah, long story short, the bits of improvement that I'd recommend, you were doing a great job in managing your resources overall throughout the match. You did have a couple of questionable things. Nothing that I would need to improve. Nothing that I would need to say, hey, you could do so much better, but obviously you could do a little bit better. When you're playing Tracer and you're going out from spawn, go ahead and use all your blinks if the team fight is a distance away. Like, if you're trying to meet back with your team, use it. But remember to keep something in the pocket. At the bare minimum, 2 blinks for an engagement, or even, God forbid, a disengagement if you're being spawn camped and you don't know it yet. That's number 1. So your resource management has done a lot better. And again, you're playing a mechanically demanding hero that has heavy dependence on the resources. So good on you for doing what you did. I would recommend to continue improving on your mechanical skill by continuously playing. I'm going to get that code as soon as I exit from here, but again, it's the one where everybody's bouncing. I'd recommend at least doing that maybe once per day until you kind of get like the vertical angles, because you're suffering on your vertical aim. You're not looking up enough. When you have heroes like Genji, you don't necessarily need to track them like a pro, where it's like, oh, if he's going, it's like, oh, it's together, like aimbot. No, nobody's expecting you to do that. But practice it, because if you're going to play Tracer, that's one of the things. To get on focus with your target, to gun him down. Another thing I can quickly praise is your target prioritization. You actually did a decent job on that as well. You're tracking for specific heroes. When Ball was out of position, using him as ult battery, you probably could have done that more. But when you were in team fights, you were always aiming for like backline. Good. You're supposed to do that as Tracer. Know your advantages when you take them. But I would ask that if you do this as well, when you start doing the backline thing, one other thing you do need to take note of. Be very careful about who you engage. You are going face-to-face with Ashe a couple of times, with Kiriko a couple of times, with Genji, kind of unavoidable. He doesn't really have the same burst potential as Ashe or Kiriko did, but he can still gun you down pretty quickly. Moira is kind of like a mishmash of a matchup. You were actually doing pretty good, and it seems like their Moira wasn't doing as good as she probably could have. But yeah, now they had their Echo, and they changed off to Mercy, so you got one less hero that you had to worry about for getting bursted down. But now they traded off Ashe with a hero that had vertical movement as well as distance. You got to be very careful in that matchup. So just be very careful in the future. Not something too terribly much to improve on, but just be very careful about your matchups and how overconfidence could eventually... Like, it just takes, from Kiriko and from Ashe, one lucky headshot for them to nail you down and to send you back to spawn. It doesn't take too much more. In fact... let me actually just just as a quick show. Whoops.
I'm the last one you'll ever cross.
All it takes is that.
Sweat off my brow.
And then...
I'll find my own path.
How's that? You saw that my reticle was on her head, right? Huh. I thought she can burst... I thought she was able to burst a Tracer down. What? Well, that's news to me. Either way, she's able to fire off 2 of those within 1 second. Yeah, I thought that Kiriko would definitely get the singular headshot, but you saw that too. I'm glad you did. And then, just as a quick show of Genji. It takes that, or 2. And then last but not least, they had Echo.
I am always ready to learn.
Just let that drop. Or...
Think fast.
Or...
Bang them down.
See how quickly she's dying. So these are the people that you do have to watch out for. These are characters you need to... You just need to make a mental note. You don't really need to take physical notes, but if it helps you out, by all means. But that's kind of what I mean at. Like, you just need to be very careful about who you take the front engagement with, and don't just blink right in front of them. That's over... Like, I found it very funny from time to time that I'd be playing Widowmaker or playing against a Widowmaker, and she'd be looking my direction, and I'm like, oh, I'll just burst her down. I can get her quick enough. Okay, I'm back in spawn. Never mind. So, those would be the things I would just say to improve on. So, let me get that code for you while I'm here, and yeah, that would be pretty much all there is to it. I give that match... It's definitely improvement from your last one, but you also played a more mechanically challenging hero than even Soldier, I would debate. So, yeah, I'd give that, like, a definite line of improvement. I don't know what I'm trying to say.